Okay, well, good morning to you all. It is Sunday, October 4th, I guess. 4th? Yeah, 4th. No, 3rd. What the hell? Yeah, I think. I don't know. Sunday. Whatever. We're about to leave Annapolis. We had our meetup ride yesterday with Life of Burch. That was great. He had a huge turnout for that. There were like 38 riders, all different kinds of bikes, different walks of life. A lot of different people out there. It was really neat. And we had most of them hanging for the duration of the ride all day long. We finished out pretty late in the evening. Burch did a exhaust sound comparison with the Radiant Cycle GP Shorty, my Shorty, his two brothers, Vance and Hines, and Factory. So we had like 5 bikes that were all lined up, and he did the little quick sound comparos to let everybody know what they sound like. That was neat. So now we're about to head out of Maryland and head down to Virginia, and it's going to be raining pretty much through the southern part of Virginia on into Tennessee. We're going to have a wet ride, and Ben does not have any rain gear, so we are going to head over to Cycle Gear. It's about 35 miles away from here, kind of on our way, and he's going to pick up some rain gear. I brought my crappy little Frog Togs yellow thin rain pants, and they didn't even survive 30 minutes on the highway, and the right leg is all shredded and ripped up, so I'll probably get some rain pants for me, and we're going to have a wet ride back. So anyway, we're gonna get on the road and yeah. Oh, zip.
Can you open these up for me?
Open it. Oh, you want ventilation, do you? Come on, man. 1 kidney, 2 kidneys. Okay then. Well, we're gonna hit the road. He's gonna try to get in before dark tonight. We've got about a 10-hour, maybe 11-hour ride to get him home, and I'll follow him pretty much all the way through Chattanooga, and then I may split off to catch part of the Blue Ridge, potentially. I don't know if it's rainy, and we saw there's a lot of construction on the Blue Ridge, so that may not work. But if it's not raining further south, I will try to get down the Natchez Trace and do some camping on the Natchez. But really depends on how bad the weather is, so we're going to find out. Good to go. We don't have comms, so we just hand gesture to each other. Sometimes the 1-finger salute. You're number 1! No. We'll stop and get fuel. I'm still pretty much full, but he's running on fumes. So we're gonna head out and get the day started here. Gonna be a long ride. Oh, I could turn on the 360, I suppose. Get a little bit of daylight and sunshine before the rain sets in. We're gonna be headed into it. But we lucked out on weather, man. This has just been a fantastic weekend up here in Maryland and Annapolis. Couldn't ask for better riding weather. It's just beautiful. It's raining all around everywhere else, and this is the dry spot, so the motorcycle gods smiled upon us for the weekend, and now it's time for the fun to end. And what the hell does this stop sign face the wrong way? The F? Anyway. We met a lot of really neat people, though. This was a great meetup. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I want to come up and meet with the guys again. There was kind of some discussion that possibly May of next year would be the next meetup kind of in this area. And I've been tasked with trying to find a southern meetup somewhere more central, or, you know, kind of toward my neck of the woods. I don't know if I would want to do it in Texas, because that's pretty far for a lot of people on the coastal areas to ride. The kind of tentative grounds that I thought of were the Ozarks in Arkansas. That's not too far from Texas. Other people from, you know, up here Virginia, Tennessee area could kind of make that trek if they felt like riding for 8 or 10 hours. Wouldn't be nearly as crazy as my 25-hour ride up here, but I don't know, we'll see. You guys leave some comments, tell me what you think would be a good central meeting ground that might work for more people, and I'll put the word out and see who we can gather up. I would think North Texas, Arkansas, somewhere in that range, because there's a lot of good roads over in Arkansas. Texas, not so much. but you know, get out somewhere where it's scenic and there's some good riding, and if anyone is inclined to do moto camping and the crazy stuff that I've got, then we'll see who we can get joined into the fray. Anyway, I'm going to focus on riding here because I don't know these roads, and I will catch you all in a little bit. Okay, we are headed out of cycle gear here. We picked up some rain gear. Ben needed jacket and pants. I just needed pants because my little lightweight frog togs ate themselves on my first rain ride up, going through Louisiana and Alabama. I was getting hammered for a while, but they just flapped too much and it got shredded over here on the right side. Yep, good to go. Yeah, so anyway, we grabbed our rain gear here at Cycle Gear, and now we are headed down through Virginia toward Tennessee. And I posted a quick Instagram picture of us sitting here saying that we were picking up rain gear, and I took a picture of the radar, and several people have already replied back saying, yeah, wanted to go riding today in Tennessee, but it's raining like crazy here. A couple other people said, yeah, it's bad rain, watch out, be careful. So we got a journey ahead of us. We got by the GPS, it says 8.5 or so hours to get down to Chattanooga where he is, and you know, we factor in the rain and fuel stops, we're probably looking at more like 10.5, 11 hours. So we'll see. And he's graciously offered to put me up in his spare room in his basement at his house. So if it's just absolutely raining like shit there in Tennessee, then I might take him up on that. It's never fun finding a camping spot in the rain. So we'll see. I love moto camping. I mean, I love it. I don't even mind camping in the rain. I actually really like that. And when you're in a hammock in the rain, it's great because you're not down in the mud and the shit. So it's not bad. But setting up camp in the rain, especially setting up a hammock in the rain, not so much fun. Okay, so here we go, out on the super slab and trying to make as good a time as we can down toward Tennessee. And whenever we start getting into the rain, stop and throw the waterproof gear on and start sweating in it. Rain gear always sucks because, you know, you're trying to keep yourself dry from the rain, but you end up sweating to death inside of the rain gear because it doesn't breathe. Even if you got Gore-Tex, you still sweat. This jacket's Gore-Tex, but I didn't have good. I decided not to bring the pants with me because it was just, you know, extra. But anyway. Feels good when you get moving. The humidity has a cooling effect. I think the temperature's probably around, I'm guessing 76, 78 degrees, so it's not a bad temp out here. And my helmet smells like coffee. I spilled coffee inside of my helmet last night like a FNG, man. I was carrying a cup of coffee up to my room and my helmet, and I'm trying to work the door on the hotel room, and I pushed it open and tried to brace it with my foot, but it's got a really strong closer, and it snapped back and it hit my hand, and I dumped like that much of my coffee cup into my helmet. I dried it out, but I smell like black coffee in here. There's worse smells to ride in, believe me, but it annoys me. So now I've definitely got to tear the liner out of my helmet and wash it when I get home. So I got the 360 running. I started it earlier when we left the hotel, but I had the lens caps on. Derp. Dumbass. I forgot to take them off. I leave them on there when I'm just cruising because I don't like, you know, cars and trucks flipping rocks up and stuff. I threw the 360 up here and recorded a bit because I figure this is the best scenery we're going to have for a while. As soon as the rain starts, I'm going to put it all away because I've got a charging door on here that doesn't keep the water out, so I'm going to short the camera out. Got another crew rolling here. Got 3, 4, can't tell how many bikes, look like Harleys, other cruisers. trike up front leading it. That's cool. Up to 100 so quick, and then it just falls off. Yeah, right there, 100 and then 99. Without the speed Danny on this thing, I'm quite sure that they would run 125 to 135 range just based on how quick it pulls up there. And you can be running 90, 95 and whack it, and it still pulls really, really hard. So there's plenty of power left, but the computer goes, tapers it off. Damn it. Wiper stopped. Go back and check if it needs anything. All good?
Yeah, my phone just fell. Luckily I got it.
Oh, all right. All right, good, buddy. Phone fell off, he said, but he got it. Hit the brakes so hard the bag slid forward. All right. But stops. Like they've got plenty of help. Ah, it's gorgeous out here. I love these hills. I don't like the super slab, but this is still pretty good for super slab. I don't have much battery left, but we just got off of 81 to come over and get some fuel, and we're right at the end of the Blue Ridge Parkway here, I think, somewhere. We're near Roanoke, Virginia, and man, these hills out here is just so beautiful. I'd love to take a ride down the Blue Ridge today, but we looked at the map, and there were just tons of road closures everywhere. It's just road closed everywhere. So we don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to stay on the main highways and try to haul ass down to Chattanooga because the rain is a-coming. It's been raining all over everywhere, so we've been lucky so far. Okay, well, we stopped off on the side of the highway here on 81, kind of running next to the Blue Ridge Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway and all that, and we're just getting ready to head into some nasty weather over there, it looks like. So found a good spot to pull over here and throw the rain gear on. Better to do it while you're still dry than when you're soaking wet. Because then all you're doing is just trapping it in there with you. Get all geared up. Might as well put the phone away because I know where I'm going. It doesn't need to get wet up here. And I got another crack in my lens, so it's bound to make the cameras wet. Might as well put that in the side bag. It's a pressure cooker.
I want to know what sausage feels like.
That's a pressure cooker. I know what sausage feels like. Oh yeah, man. Hot dogs too. Okay. Well, this is going to be the beginning of a wet remainder of the day. Don't touch the pipe. It'll burn my other ones. Okay, well, welcome to the rain. We're not far away. We were only about 1 mile away from the beginning of it. That's kind of what I figured, so it was definitely time to get gear. And ooh, let me tell you, rain stings on this bike because there is no forward protection. I mean, this is helping the chest, but as far as arms, legs, or shins, they're out there in it. It feels like you're getting shot with airsoft little BBs. Ugh. It stings a bit. Yeah, we're in for a good soaking today. We better close this ground vent. Look at the wet skull. Ooh, it is coming down. Yeah, that's some heavy rain right here. It's 2 or 3 inches an hour. It's big, heavy, fat drops. Some people decided to bow out with we should probably do the same, but there's really no reprieve for us because I think it's going to be like this all the way down to Chattanooga. The radar did not look pretty, but we'll see. We might get lucky. We might just ride out of this in a minute. I guess one good thing is now I get a bug wash for my visor because the visor is pretty nasty and hard to see through. So I just got a free car wash. Holy shit, this is like getting shot by paintballs all over. This is brutal. These are huge drops and the wind in our face is probably 25 miles an hour. So we're hitting these things at 70 miles an hour. Ow! It stings a lot. Seriously. And no forward protection on this bike. You know, it's just, ow. That's a full whiteout. Yikes. I have no problem riding in it, but boy, I tell you, that does sting on the legs. Yeah, the upper body is padded enough because I've got the jacket and the outer shell. You can feel them. It feels like getting shot by airsoft, point blank, but the legs, whew, man, that's thin. It hurts. Well, unfortunately, I think this is going to be the rest of our day right here, fighting this kind of stuff. And I'm getting water in past my collar, and I don't feel it running down my back. That's great. Punch up my shoulders so I can't dance past the top of the collar. Ooh, man, this is crazy. 40 mile an hour wind gusts. It's quite the thunderstorm here. Well, I don't know if it's thunder. I can't hear it, but it's a very strong rainstorm, shall we say. I'm going to put my flashes on so people can see me from behind. I can reach the flashes. Oh, hitting big puddles. Ooh. Yikes. Can't see. Still raining. We're a couple more hours down the road. We've done another fuel stop. I think we're on our third fuel stop of the day right now. So we're on the fourth and fifth. Still got 230 miles to go, 240 something. So we can burn through this tank at least another. So, welcome to our ride. Said it once, I'll say it again. Motorcycle trip ain't a motorcycle trip unless it rains. It's raining. Rebels are doing fine in the rain though. They're heavy. They stayed planted even in the rain grooves or little ponded puddles in the wheel ruts. They don't get squirrely or anything. It feels good. The tires on here are pretty good. I haven't felt them get loose yet. We did have to make a very sudden stop behind traffic that didn't know what the hell it was doing. And I did feel the back end swirl around a little bit, and I felt the ABS pulse under my foot. So ABS is doing its job. Otherwise, bikes are doing fine. They don't seem to mind the rain one little bit. Us, on the other hand, chariot store. Icky. Good to go. Okay, well, happy Monday morning to you all. I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Ben and I are headed out for a little ride this morning. He's going to kind of show me around a couple of twisty roads that he knows. We were going to take one that's east of us about 30 minutes, but he said, you know, for me to circle around and come back and start going south, that would just be extra mileage. So we decided to do one that's more westerly that he likes, and just going to go fart around for a little bit, do a little loop, and I'll get to see a little bit of the city here and some of the twisty roads in Tennessee. And then I'll head south down toward, I was thinking about getting on part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, but I might skip that. I'll hit the slab and get down into where the Natchez Trace ends out and take some of the Natchez Trace south. I'm still about 850 miles from home, so if I just hauled ass straight home, it would still be a 10 or 11 hour ride, probably 12, and closer to 12 with fuel and food breaks and all that. So I don't know that I'm going to try to crush all those miles getting back today. I'll probably stop somewhere on the Natchez Trace and camp tonight, if it's not just absolutely pissing rain, which it probably will be. We're looking at the forecast. It looks pretty clear here until later tonight, and then they've got more rain in the forecast this evening here. But looking at the radar, it looks like it's raining everywhere, kind of southwest where I'm headed. So looks like I'm going to have another really wet day of riding, but we'll see how it turns out. And we were in the rain for so long last night or yesterday, coming down through Tennessee, just driving rain. I mean, it was brutal. Felt like we were getting shot by paintballs most of the time. It was pretty rough. My TCX waterproof boots are not, anymore. When you're in that kind of a duration of rain, the liner Gore-Tex can't dissipate any moisture, so you still end up in a pool of water no matter what you're doing. And of course, if it's getting fed from the top from wet jeans or overspray past your rain pants, then you're going to be wet no matter what. And that's what ended up happening. I'm starting to get irritated at my held gloves. They're really expensive gloves, and I've loved them. My first pair I never had any problem with, but my second pair, which I'm not wearing right now, they, oh yeah, look at that, it's gorgeous. Look at this. He's motioning me to look. The waterproof liner is not doing a very good job anymore. I noticed it on my last couple of rides. It started happening to me on the Cannonball, but I just attributed it to you know, extended duration in the water made it to where it wasn't waterproof anymore. But last night my hands were soaking wet and pruning up after just an hour in the rain, and that's not normal. So I don't know, I might have to get those replaced.
Once we go back up to that light, you'll see it, the island. That's pretty much it right there.
Okay, so the island out here. He was telling me a little bit of history about this. This was all part of the city originally, and then the land was bought up by the government, and they dammed up the rivers and flooded it to make this lake. So there's essentially a ghost town underneath this out here, and this island that we're seeing out in the middle was one of the hills that had, you know, stuff on the top and whatever. So anyway, yeah. Neat. So there's a ghost town under here, just flooded, buried. I guess if the water level ever drops enough, you see it, huh?
During the low season, you can actually walk about a quarter of the way out there.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, he's saying you can walk almost a quarter of the way out there when it's dry. Like, cool. All right. So yeah, back to the held air and dry. I don't know, man. Gore-Tex is supposed to have a lifetime warranty, but I don't know how that works with a foreign manufacturer like Held or German, whatever. I don't know if they have a lifetime warranty on them. I need to check. So Held, if you're watching my videos, which I doubt, what's up with the air and dry not being waterproof after less than an hour? That's not good. And I don't really want to buy another $275, $300 pair of those things and then have the same problem right away. That would suck. So I might have to look at a different brand of waterproof touring gloves. I like the full gauntlet, and those air and dries are great because they got the dual compartments. They got the lower side that's ventilated, non-waterproof, so you can breathe, and then the upper compartment is the waterproof side of it. But anyway, little things you learn after buying gear and using it. Waterproof gear isn't. At least it's not for long, ever. Even full Gore-Tex, man, you'll find chinks in that armor. I have a brand new set of these TCX Evo Explorer waterproof boots at home, just sitting in the box. I was anticipating on replacing these after the Cannonball run, so I already had a set of those just waiting on me, and I don't know, these things are broken in. They're still working good for the most part, and the soles on them are still pretty good. They're starting to get flatted out in a few spots, but they're not worn through, so I'm not too worried. But the waterproofedness of them last night was a surprise, because my left boot in particular, I was sitting in a pool of water, like when I was stepping, it was squishing, so they've got a hole or a leak in them somewhere, I don't know where. I guess I'll have to get the new ones out of the box. Retire these after almost 7 years and 250,000 miles. I've easily got 250,000 miles on these boots. Good boots, I like them. Guess you can't fault anything after that kind of abuse and that many years. I got a lot of people at the meet complimenting on the helmet hook. There's a story behind that. I'll get into that, but the helmet hook is really neat. Anybody that's looking for a way to hang your helmet, D-rings, whatever, I even use it for shopping bags sometimes. This just goes in right on the end of your handlebars, between your bar end and whatnot. Clamp it down tight and it doesn't rotate. It's a fantastic piece of kit. You can find these. I'll put a link up here in the video to the helmet hooks. The patent owner and manufacturer of these reached out to me a couple years ago, after watching one of my helmet hook videos on the Riker, and he was really impressed with the video, and I was communicating with him through a Google Voice number, and I lost the Google Voice number, and I don't really have any way to get back in touch with him. So he probably thinks that I don't like him anymore, or I fell off the map. That's not the case. So if you're watching this, I do apologize. It's just, I lost your information when my phone got reset, and I lost that Google Voice number. So anyway, helmet hook, fantastic. They're made out of a real strong nylon. I don't think it's ABS. It's probably a glass reinforced poly resin of some kind, but they're super tough. My bike even fell over on it. That's another story. I dropped this bike a few days ago, right when I met Ben at a McDonald's. Stupid bike rolled forward off the side stand, took a giant divot of blacktop out, and it was going down. I had about a half a second to decide, okay, am I going to be under it or just sidestep and let it go? And I decided to let it go. But it went right down on the mirror and the helmet hook and didn't damage it at all. Whoa, dude. Goddamn, overshoot that corner much. So yeah, tough, super tough. Love these things, great. And it's got a little hole through the middle of it that you can lock it if you want to put a lock on it. If somebody really wants it, they will cut your helmet straps or something like that. Of course, if they cut your D-rings or straps, then the helmet becomes kind of worthless at that point. So yeah, at the meet, everybody was looking at this, and of course the rider scan. They're like, oh my god, that mirror is so cool. Great safety aid in traffic. Let's see, 180 degrees, 90 degrees to each side, actually over 90 degrees. Cool, recording along, looking through downtown Chattanooga, and I think I'm talking and vlogging, and both cameras have shut down. Shit the bed. What's up with these things? This one was hot, overheated. That one should have been good because it's plugged in. I don't know. Anyway, we're about to get into the hills up here. Ben's going to take me on some twisty turning roads going up the mountain.
I like how you call them hills.
Yeah, hills. When you get into the Rockies, you recalibrate.
Yeah.
You're not good. guys might be able to see that. So I'm strung up in my hammock between a couple of trees. Got some little box lamps over there hanging in the trees, and I'll be camping and sleeping in the rain tonight, unfortunately. Okay, well, good morning all. It is Tuesday morning, and I'm joining you from a KOA campground. Decided to camp here last night because I knew it was going to be raining overnight. We didn't get a lot of rain here. It rained a little bit. Right around the time my live stream ended last night, it was starting to sprinkle, and the air got real cold real quick. So I was afraid it might get real nasty, but it wasn't too bad. Just a little bit of rain. But anyway, camped up here because I'm going to use their shower and go in. Hopefully they got some hot coffee in there. Not really sure yet. But here's the Rebel, and brought me here just fine. It's been doing pretty well as a road bike. We've talked about the comfort issues on it at length, and rear shocks still need a little bit of help. Seat still needs a little bit of help, and the foot pegs need a little help. Better windscreens probably in the future, but we'll see. I've seen the Batwing now, the Honda Batwing, in person at our latest meetup. Gus has it on his bike on the Rebel 11 is his YouTube channel. Go check him out. I'll link him here. And he swears by it. He says it's great. He had the Puig screen on his before, and he said it had a lot of turbulence, and we discussed the airflow management on that new Batwing, and I don't know, I may end up going that route. I'm just not a real fan of the look of it. I prefer something a little more sleek like this Daytona Blast Barrier, but it doesn't do enough for wind flow or air management. So anyway, a few little tricks of the trade. Anybody that doesn't moto camp, this is a sanity saver right here. Bring a couple of kitchen-sized trash bags and put your helmet and your boots or shoes or whatever in a trash bag, because that'll keep all the spiders and the ants and the creepy crawlers out of there. There's nothing worse than packing up camp, putting on your gear and getting a couple miles down the road and then realizing you have a passenger. Oh man, whether it's an ant or whatever it is crawling around on your head, and you're trying to get it out of there and not kill yourself while you're doing 70 miles an hour. Hammock, just do a quick overview here. I'm using kind of a hybrid mashup right now. This is the Hammock Mantis. I really like the hammock, but the straps that come with it are crap. The Python straps, they're really stretchy. They sag real bad. So I replaced those right away with some other ones that I had, and these are the, if I can even remember, they're made by Sierra Madre. I'm trying to remember the brand or the model number, name, whatever they are, but it's Sierra Madre's straps, and they're made out of AM steel. They don't stretch. They're fantastic, and they've got cinch buckles on them that allow you to vary your length. Real easy to use hooks here, and I just hook to hook. It works great. Trying to remember what they call these. I do apologize. It's on the wrong side of the tree, so I can't see it, but I'll link the name of it. They came with other Sierra Madre hammocks that I have, and I bought extras just because I liked them. They're not the lightest things in the world. They're a little bit bulkier than some straps, but man, you can do anything with these. You can do stretches between trees up to 30 feet, I think 33 feet. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, so the Hammock Mantis, I've got bounded up underneath with a Sierra Madre Puffle 40-degree synthetic blanket. They call it an adventure blanket, but it can be a top quilt, under quilt, whatever you want, and it works pretty well down to, I'd say 40 to 45 degrees is reasonable comfort, but I usually sleep in my clothes or my base layers anyway. Yeah, anyway, so won't get in there. There's too much mess, but I do have another little, maybe I can get in there. I have another little synthetic blanket in here. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but it's made by Gravel, and I forget what they call it. It's the layover, Gravel layover, and it's a synthetic blanket. It packs down super small, like the size of a Coke can, and it's just enough to keep the chill off the top of you. packs down super small, doesn't weigh anything. It's like literally a sixth of the size of most top quilts, including that SMR puffle. So anyway, I'm gonna kill this now and grab my little toiletry bag and go brush my teeth. Catch y'all in a while. Well, just checking in from the road. I'm in Louisiana, headed down I-10 on into Texas eventually. I don't think I've been over this particular bridge before. I was going in and out of Louisiana different ways. I try to stay off of I-10, but I decided this time I would take the super slab most of the way in, because over where I was wanting to go down the Natchez Trace, it looked like there was rain in the forecast and there were some closures on the road, so I skipped it. I'll be getting into Houston about 6:30 tonight, I guess is what my ETA looks like. It's kind of the sun visor down. Yeah, 6:48 is what it's saying. So if I keep maintaining about this pace, it'll be 6:45, 7 o'clock before I get home. Got about another 5 hours and change once I figure in the fuel stops. So see how it goes. I'll check in again a little bit later. So this is what I was talking about on my way up when I was running slow, and I've tried it a couple times coming back now. For this entire tank of gas so far, I am averaging 55 miles to the gallon at a steady 65-ish. I've got the cruise set at 65, 66. Let me go through the computer here while I'm watching the road and pointing the camera down here. So I've got 106.6 miles on this tank so far. Average is 55 miles to the gallon. I reset at every fill up. So the Rebel is doing pretty good for having the aerodynamics of a brick. It's not bad. You keep your speed to 65 and it does pretty respectably on fuel. If you can keep it under 70, it still gets right around 50, 51, so that's not bad. It drops off real fast. Every 5 miles an hour it drops you about 5 points. So yeah, pretty good. My last tank, I didn't calculate the miles. I think the average was 52 or 53 indicated was on there, but I got 175 miles to the tank, and I still had 0.4 of a gallon in there. When I filled it up, it took exactly 3 gallons. So I'm doing too bad. And it's not gold wing kind of touring distance, but if you can get 160, 170 miles out of a tank, that's not too bad, I guess. So anyway, more road, lots of road, boring, straight. I was going to say flat, but it's not so flat now. Welcome to I-10. The one thing that I did forget to mention about the fuel is I'm running mid-grade 89 in here for this whole trip. I think I put base unleaded in at one time because the station that I went to was out of everything else. But I'm running in standard mode for these tests where I'm getting this 55 miles to the gallon. So with the power on 2, traction 2, engine braking 2, DCT 2, that's standard all the way across. It's getting pretty good economy. Anyway, just wanted to clarify. Here's a good wind vane indication. So this mileage that I'm getting out to 55.3, the wind is not behind me. It's coming sideways. I'm getting blown around the side. So, I'm going due west, and the wind is coming kind of more out of the north. So mileage stats should be pretty accurate. I need to post a bunch of my mileage, fuel receipts and stuff like that into Fuely. I haven't done that for this bike in a while. I haven't done it for any of the bikes in quite a while, but which one I updated last? I think it was a PCX, but I've got all the pictures of my, gas receipt with the mileage and all that, so I can go back and enter them in batches. So I'll update all the stats for this one after this trip, and everybody can kind of see how it did over a 3,000 mile and change trip. Check out the sunset, everybody. I timed it just about right. I stopped for a fuel stop because the sun was right in my eyeballs. I like the sunset. I don't like it when it burns out my retinas. And here we are. We're going to get a beautiful purple and pink, and going to be some nice nice hues. Check out that orange ball of fire. Yeah, buddy. That's why we ride. That's why I ride. There she goes. I got some trees in the way, but it's going to be some awesome hues here in just a minute. Look at that. Pink, orange, purple. That was a good thing. Gotta love Waze, still there. That's why I run Waze when I'm on the highways most times. Sometimes I use Google Maps, but I prefer Waze because it'll tell you about road hazards a little bit better than Google Maps will. Of course, that's all reliant on the community to report that and confirm it, you know. So, good to hit those on a bike. Okay, another object on the road ahead. It says, good luck detecting it at night right before you hit it. Scanning the road. Don't see it yet. There's going to be coming up in a 1/10 of a mile. When I get to the middle of the lane. Oh, there it was. There's another piece of it. Lost tire right there. I wish I could include the soundtrack that's playing in the helmet in my videos. That would get like a bajillion copyright strikes instantly. I got a pretty good road mix of music that I queue up. A few hundred songs. Yeah, really good stuff. Put it on shuffle play and let it roll. Right now it's Audio Slave. As I've mentioned before, I'm no choir boy. I roll. Man, that sunset just keeps giving. Look at that. Gorgeous. Buc-ee's, but I don't need to stop. Just go forward. Baytown Buc-ee's. Look at that sunset. I could have been home an hour and a half, almost 2 hours ago, if I was rolling my normal highway speeds. I was doing a little scientific testing to see how far I could get at 65 to 70 miles an hour average speed, see what the fuel efficiency was. So I did that for 2 full tanks of fuel. Did pretty well. 174 mile range and 170 mile range on the last 2 tanks that I did. Both of them were over 50 miles per gallon. Good, pretty good. Not bad for a big twin. Man, that sunset just doesn't quit. Look at that. Oh man, look at that. It's beautiful. Perfect sky. Absolutely gorgeous. Man, that sunset, it's still giving. Dark reds and purples. It's gorgeous, man. Okay, everybody, well, welcome back to Katy, Texas. I have arrived back in my neighborhood at 5,100 miles on the clicker, and turned in some pretty decent mileage numbers for the last couple of tanks. Not this one. So I put the hammer down on this last one, running 85, 90 most of the way for this last leg of the trip. And back in my hood here. So trip was good, uneventful, no problems other than rain. Found out that some of my really expensive waterproof gear isn't. So I'm gonna have to rectify that little problem. I really want to buy a whole bunch of new really pricey stuff if the previous pricey stuff isn't doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna have to investigate and sort that out. But yeah, it was a fantastic trip. I really enjoyed meeting Burch up there, like Burch. I joined up in the Facebook group, which, you know, I kind of voiced it before. I'm not really a fan of Facebook, but for something like that, you know, dedicated purposes or, you know, real reasons instead of just browsing, I do go ahead and join groups so I can keep in contact with people. So I joined the Rebel 1100 World, I think it is, and going to keep in touch with all the people that were there at the meetup. Neat group of folks, and hopefully we'll be able to arrange another meetup sometime in the near future, maybe spring next year, you know, before it gets too hot, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm home again, and I will catch you all on the next one. So thanks for tagging along, and as always, if you like any of the videos, please like, subscribe, leave thumbs up, and comment, and I'll definitely reply back to you. So thanks. Catch y'all later.